Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today because we have some very exciting General Hospital news to talk about, and it's definitely worth the wait. You know, I was out in the garage yesterday tinkering with my old truck when my mind wandered back to General Hospital again. I had to laugh at myself. These folks in Port Charles never let a guy relax for long. Every time I think one couple has finally found some peace, the show starts dropping those little hints that make me sit up straight and pay attention. Lately, it looks like love is about to hit a few rough patches in town. Word is there are at least 4 couples heading towards some real trouble in the months ahead, and I can already feel the storm coming. Bless their hearts. When things are good, they look so happy together, but I've watched this show long enough to know that forever doesn't always mean forever in soap operas. It's funny how it pulls you in, isn't it? One minute you're rooting hard for them, and the next you're wondering how they're going to make it through the next twist. I'll tell you what, I'm grabbing my coffee and settling in for whatever comes next. These breakups feel like they're building up to something big, and I don't want to miss a single episode. Come on, pull up a chair if you've got a minute. Let me tell you which couples I think are in real danger of splitting up. First, I was out in the garage the other day, wiping grease off my hands after tinkering with that old truck of mine when my mind drifted back to General Hospital again. I had to chuckle out loud because these storylines just keep pulling me right back in, even after all these years of watching. And right now, one situation that's really got me shaking my head is what's brewing between Michael Corinthos, his new gal, Jacinda Bracken, and that determined Willow Kane. Let me tell you, Willow is not playing around when it comes to those kids. From everything I've seen, she does not want Jacinda anywhere near them, and she's got that look in her eye that says she'll move heaven and earth to make sure it stays that way. I've watched Willow long enough to know she's the kind of woman who fights hard for what she believes is right, especially when it involves protecting her family. She's not the type to just sit quietly and hope things work themselves out. No, sir, she's ready to step in and stir things up if she has to. And that's exactly what's starting to happen. Poor Michael finally seemed like he was finding a little happiness again with Jacinda. They've had some nice quiet moments together that actually made me smile while I was watching. But now, with Willow pushing so hard to push Jacinda out of the picture, you can already feel the cracks forming in that romance. It's like watching a slow-moving storm roll in over Port Charles. Every time Willow gets involved, those sweet times between Michael and Jacinda get a little shorter, a little more tense. I keep thinking to myself, man, if she keeps this up, that relationship isn't going to last much longer. It makes me feel for all of them, Michael's been through enough already, and Jacinda seems like a good woman who genuinely cares about him. But when Willow sets her mind on something like this, she doesn't back down easy. If she gets her way, and I have a feeling she's going to try real hard, then Michael and Jacinda could be staring down the barrel of a full-blown breakup before we know it. I can already picture the arguments, the hurt looks, and the way everything might fall apart in those emotional scenes they do so well on the show. Bless their hearts, love in Port Charles never seems to come with a guarantee, does it? One minute everything looks promising, and the next someone's interference turns it all upside down. I've seen it happen plenty of times before, but this one feels extra personal because of the kids being right in the middle of it. Still, that's what keeps me coming back every day, the way these stories feel so real, even when they're full of drama. I'm telling you, I've already poured myself an extra cup of coffee and cleared my schedule so I don't miss what happens next. This whole thing with Willow, Michael, and Jacinda is building up to something pretty messy, and I'm hooked. It reminds me that even when things look good, life, or in this case, the writers, can throw a curveball that changes everything in a heartbeat. What about you? You think Willow's going to succeed in breaking them up? Or do you see Michael and Jacinda finding a way to stand strong? I'd sure love to hear your thoughts while we wait for the next episodes to drop. Either way, it's going to be one heck of an emotional ride, and I'm right here for every minute of it. Second, I was sitting on the porch the other evening, sipping my coffee and watching the sun go down, when I started thinking about what's happening with Carly Spencer and Jack Brennan on General Hospital. Man, I had to set my mug down and just shake my head. These two have been through a lot, but it looks like their relationship has basically hit a brick wall, and poor Brennan doesn't even know it yet. From what I'm seeing, the whole thing is pretty much over already. Carly has been keeping some big secrets from him, and not the small kind. She's been protecting Valentine Cassadine, that slippery criminal who's been hiding out, and on top of that, she's been working with him to take him down. Wait, yeah, it sounds as crazy as it is. She's playing a dangerous game, and when Brennan finally finds out the truth, it's going to hit him like a ton of bricks. I can already picture his face when he realizes Carly has been hiding all this from him. Brennan's the kind of guy who values trust, and this is going to cut deep. He's going to be hurt, real hurt, and I bet he'll be plenty angry too. You know how it is when someone you care about keeps something this big from you, it feels like a betrayal. So I'm pretty sure their breakup is coming, and it's going to be official real soon. There's just no way around that storm that's brewing. Even if they somehow find their way back to each other down the road, I don't see them avoiding one heck of a nasty fight first. The kind of argument that leaves both of them raw and wondering if they can ever trust each other again. I've watched enough of these stories to know that when trust gets broken this badly, it doesn't heal overnight. It's going to be loud, emotional, and probably full of those hard words people say when they're hurting. It makes me feel a little sorry for both of them, to be honest. Carly's always been a fighter who does things her own way, and Brennan seemed like he was finally bringing some steadiness into her life. But secrets like this have a way of blowing everything apart in Port Charles. Love here sure doesn't come with any promises, does it? One minute you think things are solid, and the next, the ground shifts right under your feet. I'll tell you what, though, I'm glued to the screen these days because I want to see exactly how this plays out. Will Brennan walk away for good, or will they try to patch things up after the dust settles? Either way, it's going to be one of those heart-tugging storylines that keeps me coming back. I've already cleared my evenings so I don't miss a single episode. How about you? You rooting for Carly and Brennan to work it out eventually, or do you think this secret is the final straw? I'd love to hear what you think while we wait for the fireworks to start. It's going to be a wild ride, that's for sure. Third, I was out on the porch again last night, sipping my coffee and listening to the crickets, when my mind wandered back to General Hospital. I tell you what, this show never fails to pull at my heartstrings. This time, it's Jordan Ashford and Curtis Ashford who've got me thinking real hard about how tough life can get, even for strong people. From what I'm seeing lately, Jordan is carrying some heavy emotional scars after that accident. It's not just the physical stuff. She's dealing with real trauma inside her head and her heart. On top of that, she's starting to worry a lot about the permanent scars she's going to have. I can understand why that would shake a woman's confidence. When you look in the mirror and see something that reminds you every day of the pain you went through, it's hard not to let it affect how you feel about yourself and how you feel about the person you love. I've got a feeling Jordan is going to start pulling away from Curtis in the months ahead. She might not say it out loud at first, but little by little, she'll begin keeping her distance. Those worries about her appearance are going to chip away at her self-confidence in their relationship. It's sad to watch because Curtis has been right there by her side, but sometimes pain makes you push away the very people who care about you the most. And that's not even the whole story. There's also this baby on the way, the one Curtis is going to have to help raise with Portia Robinson. Just imagine how complicated that must feel for Jordan. She's already struggling with her own wounds, and now she has to watch the man she loves getting ready to build a family with another woman. That kind of situation would be hard on anyone. If it all becomes too much for Jordan to handle, I wouldn't be surprised if she decides to end things with Curtis and even ask him to move out of the house. Man, my heart goes out to both of them. Curtis has always struck me as a good, steady man who tries to do the right thing. Jordan is tough as nails, but even the strongest people have their breaking point. I can already picture the quiet, painful conversations between them, the kind where words are few, but the hurt is loud. It might start with her pulling away, then turn into real arguments, and finally end with Jordan saying she just can't do this anymore. I've seen enough of life and enough of this show to know that sometimes love isn't enough when someone is drowning in their own pain. Jordan's trauma and her fears about those scars are real, and they're going to make it very hard for her to stay close to Curtis while she's hurting so badly. Add in the baby situation with Portia, and it feels like too many heavy things piling up on one person. Still, that's what keeps me watching General Hospital night after night. These stories feel so human. They remind me that even in a town as dramatic as Port Charles, people struggle with the same fears, insecurities, and heartaches we all face in real life. I'm already settled in with my coffee, ready to see how this unfolds. Will Jordan find the strength to work through her pain and keep Curtis by her side? Or will the weight of everything finally push her to walk away? I'd love to hear what you think, my friend. Do you see Jordan and Curtis finding a way to stay together through all this, or do you think her trauma and the baby situation are going to be the final straw? Pull up a chair and tell me your thoughts while we wait for the next episodes. This one's going to be emotional, that's for sure, and I don't plan on missing any of it.